Jim McCall 32.
21 darts thrown from Scott Taylor in this opening leg, and he's only just got down to a finish.
Game shot on
He's
the
not
first
going to
leg,
get a go
Jim
at
McEwan.
it. Jim McEwan, an early breaker throw. Fortunate dart. Taylor, again, losing the line.
114, Jim McCall 40.
Over that last dart there, leaves him on a double. Just ask the question of Jim, who's up to
Game
the
shot on the
task.
third
He
leg, Jim
opens up a
McEwan.
3-0 lead, gets the double breaker throw, and so now has the darts to
Fourth leg, Jim
complete a
to
whitewash
first.
victory.
Game on.
Scott Taylor, that's his 7th and 8th missed darts at a double in this
No
match.
score,
Make it
Jim
9, and
McCall
that could be
20.
that.
24 darts for Scott Taylor to hold his throw, and he's not been up to the task.
Game shot on the
And
match.
eventually
Jim
McEwan crosses the finishing line. I don't think either player were happy with their opening performances there, but McEwan will at least be enamoured by the fact that he's got the win.
McCall 96.
And these are the types of finishes that very much is in the Neil Duff wheelhouse. This is double 18. That's
Game
a
shot on
2-0
the second
lead.
leg, Neil
And this
Duff.
is a really good performance so far from Neil Duff. 93.94
Third
the
leg, Neil
average.
to third first. Game on.
Couple of pop finishes. Turn the game to throw. If he can find the 68. And all he'd be thinking about is just hit that first
Game shot on
double
the
like
third
he's
leg,
done
Paul
there.
Lewis.
That was calm and composed.
That was a great leg, 15 dart leg there. He opened
Fourth
it
leg,
with
Paul to through
just a
first.
60 score, so 441 points in 12. Lewis, and you feel that this would be a bit of a skin saver at the moment for Neil Duff.
His back's against the wall, let's make no doubt about that. This could be a big dart at tops. That's a
Game
big
shot on
find
the
for
fifth
Neil
leg,
Duff,
Neil
who
Duff.
moves 3-2 to the good, and just a little bit of a let out of emotion because he knows for the last couple
Six
of
leg,
legs,
Paul to through
his
first.
back has been
Game
against
on.
the wall.
Some way to win your first ever game on the Super Series stage. It's not going to happen, and Duff, 3
58.
darts in hand
Neil
to get
Duff,
the job
12.
done.
Double 6.
Game
And Neil
shot on
Duff
the
gets
match. Neil
over the
Duff.
line eventually. He had to stave off the Paul Lewis rally in the middle part of that match. He raced into a 2-0 and 3-2 lead, and Duff eventually over the line, but he was made to work for it up against Paul Lewis, who can be happy enough with his debut performance. Just didn't quite happen in that deciding leg. 25 for double 18 for a 2-0 lead. Now double 9. Doesn't
43.
go, but Raman is going to have to
154.
find something at the top draw here. 154 has to go, otherwise it could be 2-0 down. And broken.
84. Timothy McCall 18. Getting shot on the
There's
second
Tony
leg.
Verbrugghe,
Timothy
and there's a
Verbrugghe.
lot to like about this performance up to press. Here's
Timothy
94
McCall,
points
94.
away from picking up his first win of the week in his first game of the week, and he's going to get a couple of darts at tops to do exactly
Getting
that.
shot on the match.
And
Timothy
Verbrugghe
Verbrugghe.
is the victor, and he gets the better of Brian Raman by 4 legs to 1. A good enough start to his week, a steady start to his week. But as far as Brian Raman is concerned, work to do for him.
Took out a 110 finish in the opening game. That's the same sort of combination. 1 treble, 1 single, and a
Getting shot on
double.
the third leg. Neil Duff.
A break of throw for the Duff man.
100.
Paul Hinks is on the
Timothy
stick.
McCall, 127.
The checkout is 127. The dart he wants is at the bull. And that would have been for the 127 to save the game, and the match could be over here if Duff can find the 76.
Should get a dart. Does get a dart for the match.
Game shot
And
on
only
the match.
needs
Neil
the
Duff.
1 dart for the match. And Neil Duff doubles his tally. And he gets the better of Jim McEwan by 4 legs to 2. In the end, an average just under 90. Found his second ton plus check of the day. Jim McEwan having a chat with Neil and Paul Hinks about something involving that particular fixture. But for Neil Duff, he's a 4-2 victor. He's
78.
a lane that Raman was in control of, but he's let that vice-like grip slip. And double 12 for 14
Getting shot on the third
darter.
leg. Scott
The
Taylor.
double breaker throw accrued. Scott Taylor's 3-0 to the good.
Fourth leg Scott to through first.
For this contest up. Tots of the match.
50.
He's going to come back for 3 more.
60. Scott the car 20.
Double 10. Both kissed the wire. 3 kissed the wire. The third one
No
bent the
score.
wire, but he
Brandon Carr,
can't find a way
106.
through.
The fact he's come inside those first 2 darts and not found the double. Very surprising. But he will be back.
42.
Another
Scott the car
opportunity
20.
to get the job done.
He returns to double 10. And again, it's close to the wire. But this
Game
time
shot
he
on the
finds
match,
a
Scott
way
Taylor.
in. And Scott Taylor picks up his first win of the week. He gets the better of Brian Raman by 4 legs to 1. Taylor on the board in terms of the points tally. As for Brian Raman, he's still searching for that elusive opening win. That's the tail of the tape from that particular contest. Taylor averaging just a shade under 84, 4 from 13 on the double. As well as Brian Raman, he is still searching for his best stuff.
Scott the car 138.
If he has been watching the darts, he'll learn that 138 is the most important finish of them all. But he's not going to find it here. And so Verbrugghe looking for the 80 for a 3-1 lead, and he's going to have to
Timothy the car
take
80.
it out because Lewis courtesy of that treble 13 with the last darts left himself on 32.
This could get tricky.
Game
Oh,
shot on
what
the
a
fourth
dart that
leg.
is there from
Verbrugghe.
Timothy. Yeah, Paul Lewis, it's the only time he's managed to find a treble in a visit. But at the moment it's been enough until this point.
108.
The maximum
Paul the car
cancelled
88.
out by Timothy Verbrugghe.
Double 7 to send us
74.
all the way.
Timothy the car 40.
And now Timothy Verbrugghe has got 3 darts in hand at tops. Double 10 to seal his second victory in succession.
20. Paul
It's
the
not
car
there.
14.
Wild darts then, wasn't they? Nowhere near. Edgy darts, nervy darts. Edging closer.
Game shot on the 6th
Great
leg.
last
Paul
dart.
Lewis.
Just nestles its way in towards the bottom corner. And for the second game in
Seven in the
succession
final leg,
involving
Paul
Paul
to
Lewis,
reverse. Game on.
we go all the way to a deciding leg. 148. Riddle me this, Brian. Riddle me that, Brian.
One of them.
What he is going to do is leave himself on a double after 12. And remember in the last leg when McEwan had 6 darts to move 3-1 to the goods? Well, Raman here is going to leave himself on double 4 to move himself 3-2 up, and then he'd have the darts to win the match. But McEwan puts on sufficient enough pressure. Is it pressure that's going to be told? No
Game
is the
shot on the
answer. That
fifth leg.
sneaks
Brian
in
Raman.
just about into the bottom corner. Raman's 3-2 up, throwing for the match.
6 leg.
Leaving Raman in the dust.
Needs to be McEwan mistakes to give Raman any hope.
Double 12.
57.
Doesn't go, but there wasn't a necessity to this time.
94. Jimmy the car
Trouble with
24.
the last, but McEwan 3 darts in hand at double 12 to win this encounter. He only
Game
needs the
shot on the
one,
match, Jim
and
McEwan.
Jim McEwan gets the better of Brian Raman by 4 legs to 3. That's Jim's second victory of the day. As for Brian Raman, he is still searching for that elusive first W. It was a better performance from the Riddler, but Jim McEwan putting in the performance of the day so far.
Here in this game. Tops for a 2-0 lead.
Game shot on the
He
second
got
leg.
very, very
Timothy
fortunate in the last game, Timothy Verbrugghe, when he got over the line against Paul Lewis.
Third leg nearly to throw first.
There's
Game
nothing
on.
fortunate about this for Timothy. This is quality.
Timothy the
This
car
one might mean
81.
you're finishing on the ball unless you can find the treble.
And the bullseye it is. Didn't even entertain the treble,
Game
and then
shot on the
finds
third
the
leg.
bullseye
Timothy
brilliantly, perfectly in the middle of the diddle. It solved the riddle,
leg, Timothy
and
to throw
Verbrugghe is
first.
3-0
Game on.
up. Former winner on that fabled stage, right here, right now. If he can pin the 101, he's going to get a dart at double 12 to do
77.
exactly that, and to have done it in a dozen darts.
He's got time on his hands. Neil Duff, nowhere to be seen at the moment.
140.
He's himself
Timothy
in
the car
striking
24.
range, but he needs misses.
Double 6. What a
Game shown on the
performance.
mat, Timothy
What a
Verbrugghe.
victory for Timothy Verbrugghe. He beats Neil Duff by 4 legs to 0. Doing so with a 100.2 average, getting the job done in 60 darts. And the way he walks off the stage, he made it look as if it was just another game.
Got a car 130.
Needs a treble. Finds it. Bullseye for a level game.
Game shot on the second leg. Scott Taylor.
Big finish there for Scott Taylor. Big moment.
Third leg, Scott
He doesn't
to
need to
first.
look back in anger.
And so Scott Taylor,
96.
having lost
Got a car
his
57.
first game 4-0, now stands on the cusp of back-to-back wins if he can nail double 10. A superb
Game shot on the
performance from Scott Taylor. That's more like the former champion. An average of 93.64. That 130 really did rattle the cage of Paul Lewis. And from that point onwards, it was all about Scotty T, who wins with glee. He wins for 3-0. May just be a dart of the balls out of the back of this. It's going to be double 5, the double of choice, the double that's
shot on the third
found. The
leg.
man
Raman.
races into a 3-0 lead against Neil Duff, and now a leg away
Fourth leg,
from
Neil
his
to
first
third
win of the
first.
day.
Game on.
Balls out of the back of this. It's going to be double 5, the double of choice, the double
Game
that's
shot on the third
found. The
leg.
man
Raman.
races into a 3-0 lead against Neil Duff, and now a leg away
Fourth leg,
from
Neil
his
to
first
third
win of the
first.
day.
Game on.
Significantly better here from Raman, but Neil Duff Neil Duff has done well to get himself into this position because Raman was clear.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Neil Duff.
And that is a big back end of the leg there for Neil Duff.
Sixth leg, Neil to third first.
58,
Game on.
56. He couldn't take out the 48. You feel this has to go. And it might go.
It's tops.
140.
And that would have been
Round
to
of
have won it in the most
51.
sumptuous style from 3-0 behind. And so Brian Raman will breathe a sigh of relief
Game
by
shot on
pinning the
match,
double
Brian
16
Raman.
and getting his first win on the board. At 3-0, it looked like it was one-way traffic, but Neil Duff had other ideas. Forced a last leg decider, which Brian Raman gets over the line in eventually.
For an 11 dart leg. It is in Jim. Double 12. Double 6.
75.
Jim,
For the car
is not
114.
Now these are the moments where Paul Lewis has got to make hay. And it's double 17 for the
Game shot on the
114.
third
That
leg.
is superb.
Lewis.
Perfection from Paul Lewis. It's his first tud topper.
Fourth leg,
Brings
Jim
it back to
third first.
2-1 after McEwan spurred the opportunity to go 3 up.
Game on.
Fourth defeat in a row. But Paul Lewis.
It's tops for the match for Jim McEwan to complete
shot
a
on the match,
4-1
Jim McEwan.
victory. And a real good display that from Chucky. Average just under 95, 40% on the finishing. For Paul Lewis, he had chances, he had opportunities. They were restrictive. Taking out the 114. You'll have to let me have a bit of time to think about that.
180.
This is an incredible performance for Scott Taylor. He's on potentially for his second 11 darter of the contest.
59. Scott the car 41.
Averaging 105. And flying. And 3-1
Game
in
shot on the
front,
fourth
courtesy
leg,
of his
Scott Taylor.
second 11 darter of the match. But dart 7 goes a-begging. Jared Cole, incidentally, the
43.
last player to hit a 9 darter under this roof. Although, of course, 9 darters only count for 1 leg, don't they?
125. Typically
Jared didn't actually
98.
qualify for his group that time. Double 19. Straight
Game
forward,
shot on the
straight
fifth
in.
leg.
And that's an
Timothy
11
Verbrugghe.
darter, a Timothy zone. What a game this is becoming. 3 11 darters.
6 leg Scott to
Double 14. Now double 7. Scott Taylor
Game shot on
wins
the
an
match, Scott Taylor.
absolute corker. A game which saw 3 11 darters, which saw Scott Taylor average in excess of a ton, and Timothy's been beaten for the first time, and he averaged 93.5. Have a look at that tail of the tape. Have a look at those. That was perfect in the bull. It's Tots to the 135.
115. Round of
Great
car
effort there
34.
from Paul Lewis, but Raman with choices. Chooses to split.
2.
Does
Ball
not
the car
hit.
20.
And so double 10
Game shot
for
on
the
the second
breaker
leg.
throw
Paul
and a
Lewis.
2-0 lead. And Paul Lewis is halfway towards a victory, which you'd
Third
say
leg
on
Paul
the
through first.
evidence of
Game
play
on.
today is well deserved. He could get the fish. Bullseye. Reel it
Game
in,
shot on the
Raman.
fourth leg.
Reel it
Raman.
in. The Riddler with a moment
Paul
of
through
magic
first.
at the Live
Game on.
Lounge. And this is to get a win, which has been well deserved today. Double 14. Oh, he's miscounted. I think he thought it was in the single 4. He thought it was in the single 4. And by virtue,
No score.
he has bust the score. He can't believe
Round of
it.
car 154.
And he won't believe it even more if Raman hits the 154.
94.
Imagine if he celebrated that
Ball
as
the
well.
car 36.
Compose yourself. And
Game
fire
shot on the
home the
Paul
double
Lewis.
18 for your first win on the Modded Super Series stage. Paul Lewis is a victor. It's a win that he's deserved. And look at the relief on his face. Duff.
$86. Scott the car 120.
Can Taylor climb the ladder? There's the treble. Has to shovel across for the single. Now tops. Oh, that's superbly done by Scott Taylor. Had to readjust a couple of times, but fires his way into a 1-0 lead.
Game on.
2 in hand, a double 16. Now double 8. And
Game
Scott
shot on the
Taylor
mark, Scott Taylor.
makes it 4 wins from 5 on his opening day. He comes back from a 4-0 defeat in his opening game against Jim McEwan to run the card from there and get the better of Neil Duff, who started the day well. He won his first 2, but then went on to lose his final 3.
Down to the bottom end of the bed here, you feel,
Game
and
shot on the
finds it
second
well.
leg. Jim McEwan.
McEwan's playing good, isn't he? He's playing well, and this is what we'd be hoping for after having some time away
Third
from the
leg Jim
game.
to throw first. Game on. Jim your
And
car
now
65.
potentially a couple of darts away from a 4-0 victory. Too good. He has been too good for the field. And he's going to
Game
end the
shot on the
day
mark.
top
Jim
of the
McEwan.
pile. Jim McEwan began the day of a 4-0 win. He'll end the day of a 4-0 win. He gets the better with Timothy Verbrugghe to 0, for whom he's going to have to end the day on 6 points in the group. That is how the game panned out statistically. McEwan average in the end just under 90, 40% on the doubles. Real good day for Chucky.